am the Night Rider.
You're terrible, Muriel.
Talk to me.
You gonna do that pogo?
You ain't talking to the cops. Today is a brand new day.
No, that's it. It's the vibe.
G'day, fellow Aussie film lovers, and welcome to another episode of Under Southern Screens, the most armoured Australian cinema podcast. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Matthew. And yes, armoured? Armoured is what
Absolutely.
we're going with?
We're armoured up. We're gonna take on a bunch of constables who are here to stop us. They're all wearing white sheets, so it kind of looks like the KKK's here.
It's a bit metaphorical like that. It's a bit of a visual metaphor, but
they're gonna give you a seizure. It's gonna be awesome.
Mate, I already did have a seizure after watching the climax of today's film.
Goodness, what an insane amount of lighting. Constant.
But I'm sure if you've just joined us, you have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
Well, let's tell them.
Yes, let's lift the lid off this mystery, this bush ranging mystery of ours. Yeah,
absolutely.
What are we watching today, Mitch, on Under Southern Screens?
Well, today we are watching the true history of the Kelly gang.
The true history. So yeah, as we sort of said last week, we were like, not to be confused with the 1906 one, the story of the Kelly gang, but this is the true history. Every other Ned Kelly movie is lying to you.
Except for the fact that this movie starts off by telling you that nothing in it is true. Like immediately.
But everything is true. And it's like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to feel right now? I'm feeling so conflicted.
Am I being lied to right now? I can't tell.
Honestly, like, if you watch this movie, like, you're in for a wild ride. That's all I will say.
Crazy film. Well, let's give a little spoiler warning so that we can dive straight in. We're going to talk about the whole film, probably not even in order of like what happens.
We're just going to spoil this plot absolutely rotten. And
we kind of already spoiled the back end a little bit.
That's probably not like, that's step one of doing a movie podcast, is probably not to talk about the climax of the movie as the first thing we talk about. But you know what? Like, I mean, I highly recommend this film. I highly recommend that you watch it. But everything in this movie is so unbelievably outlandish that even though it is a spoiler, you probably won't believe it until you see it.
Yeah,
so,
you're probably going to be able to, even if we tell you kind of beat for beat, which we're not going to do, beat for beat what happens in this film, you could probably still go into this and experience this as if you're going, I still have no clue what's going on. And this
absolutely.
is still insane.
It's very visceral. It's a very visual experience. But yeah, the true history of the Kelly gang. You want to kick us off with that introduction, Mitch?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you that it premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 11, 2019. Which is an insane day to premiere something. But then it was given its proper release on 26th of January 2020, which, as many Aussies will know, is Invasion Day. And some less informed people may still call it Australia Day, though.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point.
It is. It's kind of cool. It contains a cast that's actually kind of like surprisingly star-studded. It includes George McKay, Essie Davis, Nicholas Hoult, Orlando Schwerdt, Thomasin McKenzie, Sean Keenan, Charlie Hunnam, and Russell Crowe. And it was directed by Justin Kurzel.
Justin Kurzel directed the movie Assassin's Creed.
Did he really?
He did. The Assassin's Creed.
Well, he's redeemed himself then because that was a garbage film.
Yeah. And it was only, 3 years after Assassin's Creed? Anyway.
I think so, yeah. So the movie details a self-proclaimed fictionalized retelling of Ned Kelly and his bushrangers, touching on the events throughout Ned's life that turned him down a life of crime that eventually led him to being hanged at the old Melbourne jail.
It's crazy.
It got decent reviews at the time and is to date the most recent cinematic retelling of the Ned Kelly story. And also, I believe, is the 11th cinematic adaptation of this tale.
Far out. One more and we get like a free McMuffin coupon or something. That's
and then
insane.
One more, it's a baker's dozen. After
baker's
that,
dozen? Yeah, true. Yeah,
we skipped the dozen part. We just go straight to the bakers. I want that bread, dude. I'm hungry.
Baker's Delight, one of those tear and share pull aparts.
Dude,
give me that right
garlic
now.
Ones, tear, like the garlic knot.
Or if we want to be in like the context of this movie, like we go to the butcher and we get like a little rack of lamb or whatever the leg of lamb that he gets. I'm the butcher now. That's a quote from this movie, ladies and gentlemen.
And then stand on like the table and give bows as my family praise me for poaching a cow. Except my dad. My dad hates me.
Yeah, but he's not in the picture for that long.
No, he's not. Well, first of all, surely the name of this film is playing on the story of the Kelly Gang origin.
It has to be.
It has to be, right? Like, just look, I'm not a Kelly scholar, so I can't make this claim with full like confidence behind it, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the story of the Kelly Gang is probably a more historically accurate retelling of this tale versus,
I would say,
this,
at least in terms of aesthetics and perhaps even, you know, like in terms of accuracy of like who's in the right, who's in the wrong, like, and like portrayals of characters and the like. But I think in some areas maybe it is even more accurate, as in like discussing the discrimination that the Kelly family would have faced, and the sort of the othering and the oppression that they would have faced because of their bloodline and the like. But yeah, like I think they're fantastic companion pieces to each other.
I honestly feel enlightened by watching these two films back to back. There's just the themes in this rich with themes.
As opposed to the 1906 one where there's images that move, but not too many themes on display here. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit harsh, but
no, I think you're right though. And once again, I don't think that's us dogging on the OG film though, because that's the OG film is brilliant for the year it was made. We gushed about it last time. Well, did we gush? I don't know, but we sung its praises for the fact that it kind of. You mentioned like it didn't have a book on cinema to go off of, like where nowadays I could go online and go filmmaking 101 and I can get a breakdown on how to just frame a shot, which camera lens I should use, how to insert a theme somewhere. And they did that lickety split, no help whatsoever.
So you hadn't seen this film before?
I hadn't. No.
How did you feel like just sort of going into this pretty blind?
So I watched Story of the Kelly Gang on YouTube, and then in the recommended was the trailer for this movie, and that's cool. I then watched the trailer. I was curious. I was like, what is a modern retelling of the Kelly?
Exactly.
Movie? What does it look
years.
like? Yeah. And so watching that, I went, "This is a movie that looks exactly up my alley. This looks like everything I enjoy about film." And then I watched this movie. And it was everything I love about film. Well, not everything, but it has a lot that I really enjoy about film. I'm going to say this first, though. It does spend a little too long, I feel, with him as a young boy.
I was going to, like, genuinely.
I don't think it wastes time as that either, though. Like, there is definitely themes. It's all about the themes, right? Like, this one's so theme-heavy. Yeah.
It's absolutely about the sort of the influences, and it's the whole theme of, like, parenting and youth impacts adulthood, I guess. And, I agree that it's just not as exciting and visceral, and maybe it's a bit more cookie cutter to me.
I think there's some good stuff before Russell Crowe rocks up as Harry Power. Was it at his name?
Yes,
Harry Power?
Yeah. He's playing Russell Crowe, mate. He's just playing. He's so
just Russell
cool.
Crowe. He's so Russell Crowe.
Cool, guys.
He's so Russell Crowe. No, he was great though. I think everyone in this movie is great, by the way. I don't think there's a single bad performance in this.
I think everyone is giving 120%, and it's camp as hell.
Is cooking.
Everyone is blasting on all cylinders. Yeah, it's insane.
I was a little bit worried at the start when we were spending a lot of time with him, but then once the dad dies and Russell Crowe rocks up, I feel like that's when the movie really kicks into gear. There's that moment where you're led to believe that he's going to be rustling some cattle, and then this is kind of drawn out sequence. There's a part where you see a man's balls in his own mouth because they didn't cut off. Which was I thought that was an apple for a very long time until the close up.
Like, lovely.
I like he's like a pig. Okay, wait a second.
Oh no.
yeah.
And just to be very, very clear to any of our little ears listening here, this is an adult movie.
Very adult.
Very, very adult movie. There's like so much sex in this. There's so much violence in this.
There is.
It's so stylized and so outlandish, that it doesn't come across as crude or sort of obtuse in that way.
No.
And for me, it was just so engaging. My eyes were glued to the screen the whole time.
Like I was saying, when some Russell Crowe rocks up, you get to the thing, you keep going, and then you get to the part where he finally holds up that stagecoach in the snow.
Yeah.
And that scene is goated with the sauce, I think the kids say.
That's the turning point in the narrative as well. That's sort of like when the floodgates open for Ned in that way, because he sees that he doesn't have to be the subjugated one. Do you know what I mean?
But he also rebels against the violence still, and kind of up until the end of the movie, he's rebelling against violence, which is really interesting when the personification we give to him is just as this outlaw murderer. And even when he's kind of perceived as a more good kind of guy, he's still a killer. He's still someone who went out and did these killings and stuff. And he does kill people in this film, but he's so much more conflicted about it than you'd usually expect this character to be.
Especially compared to other depictions, he has such a great layer of nuance. And I love the way that Kurzel doesn't have to spell it out. It's sort of done through allegory in the way that, you know, there's the deep homoerotic undertones between him and his gang.
So gay, man. But it was like, damn, I just wasn't expecting like this amount of like homoeroticism in this film. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And like the fact that, you know, Kelly wears a dress throughout the movie and just all of these visual and like inferential hintings at this nuance where you as an audience member can infer it, but it's not immediately explained to you, and it says so much more.
I feel like one of the main themes and what's really focuses is on what is masculinity.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially at that time.
I think you can watch this anywhere in the world and kind of get like the sense of what does it be to be masculine? What does it mean to be, you know, a man and all that? Or someone else says it, sorry, that you're not the man you pretend to be, and you're also not the man your mum wanted you to be. And that's kind of like a reoccurring thing. Like, he's not as violent and as cold as he wants to be. His mum wanted him to be like more of a killer and more and just kind of the way she keeps goading him towards violence is actually, it's really sickening.
But you see why, because I mean the film starts with Ned watching his mum being prostituted, so it's like you're meant to
so
feel
complicated.
You're meant to feel so sympathetic for this character, but you see that the manipulation at play here, I think, which is fascinating.
There's like so many victims who end up becoming perpetrators of their own kind of abuse, like the cycle of abuse.
That's it. A whole year before Last of Us 2 came out, we're talking about the cycle of revenge,
and this did it 10 times better as well.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I like Last of Us 2, but anyway.
I like it too, but it's also ham-fisted as hell.
This movie did it better.
It's so good. And I really love this idea that they have the Sons of Sieve, this rebellion group in Ireland, and the Kellys are a Irish Australian. It's apparently in Ireland wear these dresses, and it freaks out the British because they look crazy.
Exactly.
And nothing and as they say, nothing scares a man more than crazy. And it's just like, what does that mean for masculinity? Like, these going to war in a typically female coded piece of clothing. Like, it's just so interesting, and man, I could gush for days.
But like you're 100% right. I think what I love most about this film is the way that it not only harkens back to the original film in the way that it's structured. I mean, like, all of the scenes in 1906 Ned Kelly are present in this one, like the shooting of the cops in the forest.
I was thinking that, I was like, no one's shooting those birds either. They're just kind of hanging out this time.
The hold up at the ranch and stuff, it's all there. But what I also love is just that it harkens back to 1970s Australian film, and we'll get there throughout this podcast. But like, a bunch of the unhinged stuff in this movie, like in terms of like color palette and cinematography, and just the fact that you'll just see the most obscene thing on screen, and people will play it off like it's casual. Like, that is classic 1970s exploitation right there. And I think it's such a great return to form. On a side note, how the hell did they get Nicholas Hoult and Thomasine McKenzie in this movie?
Oh, dude, and Charlie Hunnam and Russell Crowe, and honestly, George McKay is kind of like a big get. Like, he's not huge, but he's definitely not small either.
Yeah, and his performance is fantastic as well.
He's great.
Like,
He really suits this version of Ned. I feel like if you played any other version of Ned, he wouldn't do well, but he suits this version of Ned really well.
He reminds me of the type of guy that you would see at an AFL match.
Who's pretending to be tough. Like,
100%. Yeah, it has like this veneer of pride or whatever. Or, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's wild.
There's also a child murder in this one.
Great. Good times. Good times. We're back again.
We're 2 for 2 child murders in each film we've seen so far.
That's it, man. We'll try and get one per episode.
Should we have a child murder counter somewhere?
There's like a bunch actually. Just
don't
going
say
through
them.
my
Don't say
head.
them so people won't know. Because I don't know either. Because you've seen way more Australian film than I have, so I won't know either until I watch it.
You're just gonna have to keep watching to find out, brother.
Keep listening.
It's interesting.
There's no one in this who I outright hate, but also like.
Yes, yeah.
There's different variations of it. Like I think George McKay / Ned is the most likable character in this. You get to see the most of him, and you get to see why he becomes the way he is. But Nicholas Hoult. I think I just find Nicholas Hoult too charming to hate.
Well, that's what I love Nicholas Holt's performance in this movie. I actually think he is the best performance in this movie.
He's the MVP for sure.
He is very clearly insane and sadistic. Like the first time we see him, he's in this mansion watching 2 people get beaten up, and then we cut to him, and it's alluded to that he's had relations with a farm animal.
Which you were so keen to text me about when we were talking about this.
Dude, Lex Luthor.
We got to talk about the livestock sex, dude. We got to talk about it.
Bro, essential conversation point. But I love how throughout the entire film, everything he does is played with like a veneer of, well, obviously this is how it should be. You know what I mean? Like he plays it with this. What's the word I'm searching for? Like an
arrogance or a confidence.
Arrogance, absolutely. Where it's like he's just like, well, this is just the way the world works. So, like, for example, I think one of the most powerful scenes in the movie is when Nicholas Hoult steals, is it Kelly's sister's baby? Oh, no, it's Thomasin's baby.
Yes,
baby.
So good, but it's
horrifying. It's a horrifying
you believe he'd
thing.
shoot him. You believe he would shoot that baby.
He's playing it with just an obscene casualness to it. And like, not that he's holding a gun to a baby. You know, it's insane. And
then like, because the other police rock in and are like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is not cool. And he's just going, I'm conducting an interview. It's so good. There is jaw-dropping moments, I think, for sure. But I think there's just some moments that they just kind of stick. I think for me, the ending, which we alluded to earlier, before with the spoiler warning. So sorry about that. But the ending, it builds to it in this way where you, in a conventional film, it's going to be this action-packed shootout, especially because this movie it's a Western, basically. Like, it's so Western coded. So it's alluding to this grand, big, there's going to be a train crash, there's going to be a shootout, there's an army on Ned Kelly's side. Exactly. And then you get to it, the train crash doesn't happen because Ned Kelly's a softie at heart and lets a guy go, who then warns the coppers not to drive their train into the broken tracks. And then they all rock up in what looks like KKK garb. It's not. It's more probably just like,
I think it's just like reflective gear and like sort of that whole thing.
PPE.
PPE.
And then all the remaining characters get shot to hell, except for Ned Kelly, who then goes out in the classic armor. We don't get a hero shot of him in this armor. We don't get him doing anything good. He just constant muttering of like, I'm going to kill all of you. And then he just gets mulched.
He gets absolutely wrecked.
And it's flashing lights. The music is insanely intense throughout this movie, but it culminates here.
Just before that as well. Like it builds and builds and builds. Like they're in the hotel. It's on fire. People are yelling and screaming. People are dying. And it's just
their hostages are getting shot, and like the police just don't care.
It's like something out of Apocalypse Now. It's just so
that's exactly
intense.
The shot of exactly. I was going to say this. The shot where it's the helmet and his face is all muddy, and you can see the eyes. I was like, that is so Martin Sheen from Apocalypse Now when he's coming out of the river, and
so Coppola coded.
It's so Apocalypse Now. Like just this descent of a man into madness,
and it's just raw, just chaos, I think.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the most effective climaxes in an Australian film, in that it fulfills and subverts the expectations of its audience.
Yeah, this is what Rian Johnson was trying to do with Star Wars The Last Jedi.
He saw this movie a year later and was like, oh, come on, man. Gotta talk to Justin Kurzel.
Because that climax is great, but honestly, like that final section where the teacher is telling that fake story about how Ned Kelly is hanged, and we actually watch Ned Kelly get hanged, and then the film just ends on the creaking of the rope.
Yeah, my gosh.
Oh
and,
my god,
symmetrical
haunting.
Shot of it like panning, of it like knocking out. It's just like, beautiful. Shot at RMIT. Don't you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they're all clapping. It's this giant crowd listening to this fake version of Ned Kelly.
To the history, like what we now know of the story of the Kelly gang.
Yeah.
When we contrast and we cut to Ned alone in his cell.
Famously, in quotation mark, he muttered, "Such is life before being hanged," which I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, who's to say? But this movie implies it's fake. This movie implies that didn't happen, because the guy who's telling the story says he muttered that, but his mum right before that said, "Don't say anything because you can't be strong it's harder to be strong when you talk." By the way, just the mum going at him with toxic masculinity up until the end. We love to see a hater.
Oh my gosh, that's a really layered performance as well. The mum.
Oh gosh, she's excellent. Probably Nicholas Hoult, and then it's Essie Davis who plays the mum, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Nicholas Hoult, brilliant, and then Essie Davis underneath that, playing probably a much more complex role than Nicholas Hoult does. Nicholas Hoult just kind of knocks it out of the park, and he's just great.
Absolutely.
But Essie Davis is really, she's batting along with him. Like, she's matching him beat for beat. There's any scene with both of them in it's
just like an acting masterclass. Absolutely. I'm going to be honest, Mitch. I'm going to be brutally honest here.
Yep.
I did not like Russell Crowe's character in this movie. I'm sorry. I know we're 2 episodes in. I know we're this movie's amazing. But I think he's too stereotypically badass. That's my thing. And he exits the picture like without any fanfare.
Yeah. I definitely watching it, I was going, I see Russell Crowe had probably a producing role in this or something.
I'm sure he was like, I better get a really cool action scene.
Yeah.
Or else. But we get Russell Crowe singing, so that's a win.
He is very much kind of like, here I am. I'm going to tell Constable Charlie Hunnam to F off and call him a prick and protect Ned Kelly's mum from having to prostitute herself anymore. And I'm going to become, you're going to become a bush ranger, boy. I'm going to shoot these guys.
He just serves as that stereotypical archetype of like, you're going to do great things, Ned. And it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to take Russell Crowe seriously, in my opinion. But anyway,
I don't think you need to anyway that. I think that's an important point, because like no one in this is a cool person except for Russell Crowe.
Big action scene and stuff.
And the last thing we see of him is young Ned points a gun to his head and he says, "Go on, pull the trigger." Like he takes it in straight. He's not like, whoa, don't shoot me. He's not a little pussy who wants to live, you know.
He's tortured in that moment, but I would have liked to see a resolution of his character, even if he came back later on in the film as like a hallucination or something, because his story ends there, you know. And so like it's like you can infer that it's maybe, you know, informed Ned's actions going forward, but like it would be good text to actually reference it. The other person I thought wasn't super remarkable but still did a good job was Thomasin McKenzie, I believe. I just think she hasn't got a ton to work with in the script.
The scene with Nicholas Hoult threatening her baby, normal thing to say, by the way. Top 10 normal sentences.
Just go along with it, audience. You know?
Yeah. She's really good in that, and she sells the fear of that.
As anyone would. And I think like performance itself is great for what she's given, but I would have liked a little bit more there.
Yeah, you know? I see that. I mean, and we know she goes on to do, because I think it's like 2 years later she does.
Last Night in Soho and Jojo Rabbit.
Is it the same year?
I think Jojo Rabbit came out the same year as True History of the Kelly Gang.
Oh, and did it? I'm getting my years mixed up.
Which was maybe how they were able to get Thomas and
well, she wasn't. I mean, she's still not the biggest name, but she hadn't done Last Night and Jojo Rabbit, which I don't know if Last Night's a big movie, but Jojo Rabbit's definitely big.
It was their big break, absolutely. But like aside from that's really the only things I can sort of like say, this wasn't as strong for me. I think that this film is like a modern Australian classic in my eyes.
It's just kind of crazy to watch, and there's so much Oz in this.
It is such an Australian movie.
I don't think I've ever watched a movie and been so aware, in a good way, not in a bad way, been so aware of how Aussie the soundscape is. This is set in Victoria, which is where I born and raised. And so every single freaking bird I've heard at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I've been in rainforests that look like the ones that they shot in and stuff. Like it's just brilliant. And I felt like I was home, except it sucked because everything sucks.
Except it was pre-industrial times and I hated it, you know?
Yeah, and also everyone wants to die.
Everyone wants to die and likely does die. It's so fascinating seeing Ned transition between the two, like going between high society and then back to his family, and then just the interplay between the two, between him and Fitzpatrick, who's Nicholas Holt's character. It's just it's just such a fascinating watch, and like I think this is probably the best Ned Kelly adaptation that I've seen. I've seen Story of the Kelly Gang, I've seen the Heath Ledger Ned Kelly, and I've seen this, and this is by far the best in my opinion.
I've only seen Story and True History, so I am still
That's okay. 50% shot, that's okay.
I mean, this is just a good movie. This is a movie that I enjoy over a lot of other movies I've seen. The juxtaposition between like poverty and rich and all that is really interesting too, because when given the chance to let her son move into a more rich environment, his mum doesn't let him go off to school. And
that's right. Yeah, she denies it. That's a fascinating moment.
She like stops it. She doesn't want him to, because she claims that she doesn't want her son to be taken from her. Yes, but then 10 seconds later, and this is deliberate as well, she sells him to Russell Crowe to then go make money. Like she's just proud, and she doesn't want to ever be indebted to the British, and which is like from what they've done to the Irish, understandable. Like I get it, but it's so interesting, and just an interesting look at masculinity. I think it's an interesting look at just Australian masculinity as well, like specifically this masculinity you get in Australia, because there's that part where Nicholas Hoult goes, an Irish man who doesn't like to drink and doesn't like to fight. And I feel like, that is, you think of Irish people and you think of the stereotypes that comes along with them. That's definitely the stereotypes that go along with that. But you can also kind of attribute those to Australian men, like, or not Australian men specifically, but like
that idea of the masculine ideal.
We love to drink. We love to rabble rouse. We're a bunch of tricksters.
And when you're not part of that camp, it is so easy to feel othered in that sense, because it's like, this is all that you know what I mean? Like we're into our AFL, we're into our, our physical sports and
our NFL,
our mateship, the rugby, brother, the state of origin.
Exactly.
So I think that's such an interesting exploration of the modern Australian character is seeing that people do and have existed like this for a long time, and there'll be this constant cycle of othering and sort of perceived, snootiness about it. I think it's fascinating to watch on screen, and in a way that is like breaking down the myth of one of Australia's most famous folklore.
Yeah, it's just good. It's good.
If you haven't heard it, guys, this movie's really good. I think you should watch it.
If you haven't understood from our conversation, it's great. It's a good movie.
It's very, very good. But Nicholas Hoult does fuck a sheep or a ram or whatever it is. Is it a cow? I don't know.
Some sort of livestock animal.
Various livestock. So proceed with caution there if you're...
you don't see it. It's implied. So
it is implied.
You don't have to watch that happen. It's just heavily implied that... And in a dress, too. Because he has the whole thing about having sex. Once again, another thing about the masculinity. I have sex in a dress. It's freaking insane, dude. It's good.
It's a good movie. It's really good. And it's a good way to start off our proper sort of under Southern Screens voyages by going for a modern classic. And that's the final thing I want to touch on here is that it's proof that like modern Australian cinema can not only be really, really effective, but can effectively showcase the Australian character to an international audience. I think that is like one of the main successes of this film.
Is Justin Gazelle Australian? Because no one else in this is Australian. None of the actors, at least, are Australian. They're all British British and Irish in some way.
He is an Australian director.
Oh, so Russell Crowe. Well, Russell Crowe's New Zealand, so
yeah. Well, that's the age-old thing, right? We've adopted him. No, he's literally beating people up. Anyway,
yeah, we don't want him. I mean, he's a good actor.
He was in Romper Stomper.
I was thinking of LA Confidential, honestly.
Can I just say, you won't get this now, but I can't wait till we get to Romper Stomper in this. It is a wild ride, and that is all I will say about Romper Stomper at this point.
I'm excited to watch Romper Stomper. I think it's my turn this week to claim the most Australian thing about this movie.
Yes, hit me, brother. Let's go.
Well, I have two. One of them's a serious one, and one's a funny one.
That's okay. That's all right.
We'll do the serious one first. So the serious one is, I think I've never seen Australian dirt, like grime, done so well on.
Yes, like it's so grimy and
it's that Australian grime as well, but it's also like Australian grime mixed with the Australian cold, because we're known as a hot country, but it gets really cold here as well. Like famously cold, because all our houses aren't built for any type of insulation, so we're just always cold and hot.
It's that seasonal thing, you know.
We live for dying.
We live for dying. Isn't that the motto? Anyway, but it's a dirty movie.
It's a dirty movie, and I think that's like the most Australian kind of visual. But I think to me, the thing that really stuck out the most though is having one glass of wine at a licensed establishment as a minor, as long as it's with a meal and with a guardian as well.
The parental supervision is off the chain.
Exactly. No, because I know at least in Victoria, we might have gotten rid of it recently as well, but you were allowed, I don't think it really mattered what age you were, but you were allowed to have one glass of something as long as you were with your parents and it was with a meal as well.
That is so funny. I guess it's that veneer of sophistication, but it's just 8-year-olds getting drunk at the Hawthorne Hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
with their kids nuggets and
let the mate have a wee bevy, all right? I had a couple when I was his age. It's all right. It's all right.
Underage drinking, the Australian character in a nutshell.
Yeah.
On that fun note, thanks so much for listening, you guys. What an expedition we've been on today.
I had a great time. I'm not haunted by the younger version of myself as I get hanged at all.
Speaking of younger versions of people's selves, that's just one little final note. The person that played young Ned Kelly looks like someone I went to high school with.
That is crazy. He also looks a lot like George McKay. They did a really good casting.
This film,
it's almost like this movie's a good movie.
Yeah, funny that. Anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of Under Southern Screens. We'll see you next week for another film, which we will not tell you about because we want to keep you guessing. We want to keep you on your toes, just like
eventually we'll have it figured out and we will tell you in advance.
Absolutely. But yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening and keep your eye on those Southern screens. Woo! Thanks for listening to another episode of Under Southern Screens. We'll be back next week to talk more films down under. We just want to attribute that our opening title is Heavy Duty by Zoo, and our closing title is Heavyweight by Fell Creek. Thanks so much for listening, and Mitch and I will see you in the next episode. See you next time. Under Southern Screens would like to acknowledge the stolen lands on which this podcast is recorded and produced, and pay tribute to the Wurundjeri and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation and Camaragal people of the Eora Nation.
Sovereignty was never ceded, and we pay respect to all Indigenous elders past, present, and emerging. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.